we are in the first round of the panel discussion. So we have Mr. Sanjeev Jain, Senior Coordinator in the International School, Bijnor, India. We have Ms. Nidhi Mehra, Founder of the CAMS International School, Faridabad, India. We have Ms. Monica Shah, Principal, Global City International School, Bangalore, India. And we have Mr. Adarsh Kumar, owner of Little Millennium Preschool, Patna, India. And we have Ms. Ankita Shah, Founder, Sexes Mantra Educational Institute, Chennai, India. So without wasting any more time, sir, I hope everyone is aware of their topics. So we have 3 topics today which we are going to discuss, as this is the main suggestions from our team which has been working with us, whether it's from the education fraternity like you, how you guys are. And we have 3 topics, sir, with due respect. We have 3 topics of analyzing on sociological and psychological factors affecting students and teachers due to online classes, especially during the pandemic. The second would be what safety measures will you take while school reopening, which is also a big challenge for everyone in India or abroad. And we have impact of new education policy in the education sector, which is also the current topic. So considering all the current scenario and the pandemic situation, we have taken all these things. And without any wasting our time, I would like to tell you how we're gonna do this so that it should be an interesting session rather than becoming a boring session. So first we will start with the first topic. So sir is sitting on the first, ma'am is second, third is Monica ma'am, Adarshji is fourth, fifth is Ankita ma'am. So ma'am, how we're going to do is that the first question goes to you, the second, which is what safety measures, comes to Nidhi ma'am, and the third, which is impact of new education policy, goes to Monica ma'am, and then finally again coming back to you sir, on what you think about online classes, how it is happening, as in terms of analyzing, that comes to you. So that automatically we come back to you again. So I will not be wasting any more time. We will start with Sanjeev sir on the first topic, which is analysis of sociological and psychological factors affecting students and teachers due to online classes, about your views, and we would love to hear from you.
Thank you, sir, for introduction and the opportunity to be a part of this esteemed panel. Well, if we talk about the sociological and psychological impact, this pandemic drastically changed the times that we lived in, and this was bound to have negative sociological and psychological impact. Transitioning into the online class from the classroom based learning was difficult for the teachers and for the students both, and having a negative impact initially. From the psychological point of view, the faculty members were challenged with the task of converting their physical classrooms based learning into virtual teaching. And this naturally led to two problems. One is questioning one's own ability to convert the online classes due to the lack of prior experience. And the second one is constant stress in anticipation of what could go wrong. Similarly, for the students' point of view, if I say the students had to go through a great deal of psychological distress due to the fear of academic year loss. Secondly, the inadequate resources at home and anxiety associated with the uncertainty to when to go back to their normal classes. Speaking of sociological factors, one thing is very important to understand, that online classes brought about a material-based educational experience. Material-based educational experience, which is a socially impoverished and lonely learning situation. Students as well as the teachers were isolated from their respective peer groups, and this took a toll on their personal relationship, social interaction, and ability to cooperate in the classes and evaluate a course of action in a given situation was hampered by the online classes. And therefore, the essential problem is to establish a sense of community of learners and educators, that is teachers, became difficult to maintain. However, despite all of the odds, as we know, as we is well aware of, that we are a fighting community, so in my personal opinion, as a community, we were able to overcome all the hurdles. One more thing, in a virtual community, we came together through isolation. That is very important to understand. There are some positive points also in this dilemma. We developed a shared, simple learning system through common languages based on charts, notes, signs, icons, and so forth. So while the pandemic has its negative impact, it also reinforced the idea of nothing is impossible if we all come together. So, on a positive note, I end my words. Thank you.
अभी तो थोड़ा जोर से बजाइए क्या?
Good morning, all of you. I'm privileged to be here with all of you today. So, Chief Guest, kindly accept my sincere thanks for your gracious presence today. Today, as per the topic, my topic is recovering from this pandemic when the schools are going to reopen. So, I'm going to discuss on this. I have few notes jotted down with me, if you don't mind, so that I should not deviate from the main topic while conversing. So, the Indian government formally announces the rules of study, worship and work from home from March 16, 2020, as we all know. We are not all in the same boat, but we all were in the same sea. Some by yacht, some by boat, and some by clinging to whatever floats our way, and fighting with all our might. COVID-19, yes, as Sir mentioned, has undoubtedly changed the face of an education. But now it's a time to back to school campaign. As other countries, they have started reopening the schools now. So before this topic came to me, I was just looking forward to the model of other countries like Dubai, like Canada, where the schools have already started opening. So I was just wondering that what the guys are doing so that when the schools in India will reopen, we should be well prepared for it. So, I have few points which may be very useful for all of us because we all belong to this education industry, and we must, and our school management must prepare with all these steps. Number one, Modes of thermal screening should be present at the entrance of the school. Children who are taking school buses, cabs should be scanned for their temperature before getting onto the bus or cabs. Because thermal screening is not only important at the gate of the school, when we are providing school transport also, then the thermal scanning should be there in the cabs or buses of the school. The class teacher should be responsible to refer the students with COVID symptoms such as cough, body ache, fatigue, shortness of breath, and should immediately escalate the matter to the school nurse and admin department. Staff should be discouraged from exiting the school during the day, but if they do for emergency purposes, they are requested not to return to the premises until they have fully sanitized, and they should go for the thermal scanning again. People with compromised medical conditions, including elderly grandparents, should not come for the pick and drop of the children. The school should implement a staggered entry and exit procedure to eliminate overcrowding and to maintain social distancing. Meetings should be encouraged to take online unless there is a critical need for one-to-one physical meeting. Maintenance work or deliveries or any kind of repairing work in the school should be done after the school working hours. The school should maintain adequate records of the staff, guests, members and students, including their names and numbers, in order to trace them if necessary. Upon the onset of academic year, the school should collect health and travel declaration forms from all the students and staff members. A policy of staying at home if unwell for students, teachers should be enforced. Common areas in the school like toilet, pantry, waiting areas should be cleaned and disinfected after regular intervals. Anyone entering the premises should be checked for wearing their masks and should use the hand sanitizers. Staff and children's bags and shoes are encouraged to be sprayed with sanitizer upon arrival to the school. The school should encourage paperless strategy and elevated use of technology in the education. As Sir mentioned, that technology cannot replace a teacher, but if the teacher will get good technology in her hand, she can do wonders. So we should move to the paperless technology to the extent it is possible. Place awareness, educational posters describing hand washing techniques near the sink and other common areas should be placed. Students should be designated a chair and a table, and no rotation and swapping among the students should be allowed. As if you remember, at our times also we used the rotation of students, so that a child who sits at the last should come in the front according to his roll number. So this practice should be discouraged at least for 1 year. Unnecessary material like carpets, toys, furniture, equipment should be removed till the time they are not put into the use. Water dispensers or water coolers should not be allowed. Students and staff members should be asked to bring their own water bottles. Areas other than classrooms like prayer rooms, science laboratory, music labs should be naturally ventilated and should be sanitized after the usage. The sufficient and accessible training channels should be used to keep the staff members and parents and children educated about this safety measures. So I think these are the few points which should be taken care on priority by all the school managements and let us prepare for this reopening of the schools, because I think that's the best part of this. I'm desperately waiting for a situation where I can see the school buses again on the road. The school gates are open. We have missed those crowd in the corridors, and we would love to see them again. But yes, before that, we should prepare ourselves to deal with the situation. That's very, very important. So now I would like to pass on.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm Monica Shah from Bangalore, and it's a great pleasure to be with you all. And I've been so motivated by your speech, sir. Thank you so much. Actually, when you were, talking to us, I was just thinking and recalling all the past experiences. I have been in education sector for last 20-25 years, and gradually moved from teacher to coordinator to headmistress to principal. It's been a beautiful transition and a beautiful ladder. And I always say this, we have gone through a lot during the pandemic, but as I always say to everybody, we should not lose our cool, and the sense of humor should always be there, and the students are the best examples who teach us all about it. So when sir was saying that in every child we have a genius, so I just recalled, before I start my topic, I just remembered there was this child in grade 3, and we were having some program in school, and I just saw him walking down the corridor, and he had shoved a pocket dictionary in his pants pockets, and the pockets were ripping from the side. So I called him and I said, "See, Ritvik, come here. Why have you put this dictionary in your, see, it's ripping off." So he looks at me with all that innocence and he tells me, "Ma'am, it's a pocket dictionary." So, they always, they come up with